So we're driving to the International Conference Center where virtually everyone is going to this period. The entire country has been emptied into Enugu State. Yes, the country has been emptied into Enugu State. Do you know what it means for over 20,000 people to get into a city? It is monumental, and Enugu has never ever experienced a thing like this. In fact, the only time Enugu experienced something like this, or any time of the year that Enugu experiences something like this, is usually during December period. December, of course, because people coming from several places, several parts of the world to come see their families, because it's, of course, it's the festive season, and then people coming for weddings, people coming for you know, to see their parents, you know, people coming for end of the year parties, to come see their old friends. You know, this is the year, end of the year, you know, parties that happen. And you know, Igbos travel a lot. Igbos are the most traveled set of people you can think of around Nigeria. They migrate a lot, they travel a lot. An average Igbo man would leave his small town in Aniri and find his way in Kano State, develop Kano State, build his house in Kano, build his business in Kano State, build hotels in Kano State, and live there. That's exactly, I tell you what, an Igbo man does. So and he does it not because he doesn't love his hometown, but he does it because, I mean, that is who he is. That is exactly who he is. Okay, so these guys are here now. They're patching up these roads, and I'm just wondering why they have to wait up until this time to patch these roads. Why did they have to wait up until a few days to the so-called conference of lawyers, as the Nigerian Bar Association conference? Why did they have to wait up until this moment for all of this to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, like I was saying, we're going to the International Conference Center where the Nigerian Bar Association will be holding their AGC, that's the annual general conference. It is the most talked about conference in Nigeria. It's usually a place where a lot of speakers come around, a lot of presidential candidates come around. And in fact, there's virtually nobody who is somebody who wouldn't come for this kind of events. I mean, it's a full week event, and it is mind-blowing the amount of persons who are going to be getting into Enugu State. So, and because, you know, ever since the International Conference Center got finished, there's been from one event to another, an event upon event upon event have been going around, and these events are literally events that puts Enugu in the map. So you can imagine that these over 15,000, I heard 20,000, over 20,000 persons are coming into town, and imagine what it does for hotels in Enugu. Imagine what it does for food in Enugu. Imagine what it does for hospitality generally. Imagine what it does for land, because I understand that when people come like that, there are a few of them who would say, you know what, I love this city, I'm going to come back again. So I'm probably going to come back in December. Maybe if I'm looking for my next vacation, maybe I'm going to choose this place. Or some of them even say, you know what, let me just relocate down to Enugu, because I haven't been to Enugu before, and this is the time I'm going to be, you know, the first time of basically being to Enugu, and I love what I'm seeing, and so they want to relocate to Enugu. And something I've also noticed is that these guys, you will be shocked that land has increased. The prices of land, the prices of the house have skyrocketed in Enugu just because of this development that is going on in Enugu. It is that crazy. It is that crazy, you know. So this is the first time Enugu is hosting a thing like this. Enugu doesn't seem to be that state that hosts events because national events because of you know, infrastructure. You know, you talk about infrastructure, you talk about space, you know, to host people. I mean, we're talking about over 17,000. Where are you going to keep 17,000 people? But with the addition of Okpara Square, I understand there's going to be tents at Okpara Square. Aside from the main auditorium, there's going to be tents at Okpara Square. There's also going to be, because the International Conference Center is not just one hall. All right, the International Conference Center is has like 3 to 4 halls. I think 4 or so. The main bowl and then three others. You know, so people rent it for several meetings, several other things. So if you have the main bowl of the International Conference Center being basically occupied, then you can have, you know, a teleprompter or maybe a monitor put for, you know, other halls that you know, the lawyers can follow, you know. So the hall is very big, very gigantic. It's international standard. I don't think there's any hall in Nigeria today that matches the International Conference Center in Enugu. There's none. I mean, you can quote me anywhere, I'll defend it. There is no hall. There's no hall in Enugu. There's no hall in Enugu. Yes, I can tell you for free. There is no hall across the country that matches the International Conference Center in Enugu. At least I've traveled now. Lagos, even the one in Abuja is learning, seriously learning, where the one for Enugu is seriously learning. No, I'm not kidding. Seriously learning walk. You know. Okay, look at it now. They're painting the slabs leading to the International Conference Center in Enugu. So the adverts you see on the street lights is actually the Hotel Presidential that was launched a few hours ago. It was just yesterday. We were there live and we covered it. So this is us now headed towards the International Conference Center. They are painting the slabs and it really looks good. I'm just wondering, like, why did you have to wait up until this time? Why did they do it a week earlier or something? Anyways, they say better late than never, right? So we just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens, how it goes. But the city is looking a little bit beautiful, you know, a lot better than what it used to be. A lot better than what it used to be. So I'm taking a detour to get a shortcut to the International Conference Center. Okay, I'm going to. We're actually going to get there. We're actually going to get there. So quickly too. I understand there is even something spectacular coming up, like there's a trade fair finishing off the event. The event ends on the 31st. So the trade fair is going to be on the 30th and 31st. So just basically getting people to buy things for cheap. You know, people who have traveled, in case the lawyers want to get a few things for their words or for their spouses. At least they call it mama or yo-yo. So that's the reason why they are going to do a trade fair 2 days before the end of that particular trade fair.